What's up, fuckers? It's tea time. Now, I've been awfully hard on Gregory Wayne Abbott lately, so I thought we could talk about the state snake of Texas. What's your zodiac killer? Now, I knew there'd be a fat chance our slithering Senator Ted Cruz would show up on my radar again like a hypocritical-potamus. If projection had a face, it would look like a genital wart in a Grandpa Munster costume. Or a wicked witch. It's just the chin. It screams, "I'll get you, my pretty, and your little dog too." No. Ted usually leaves the dog behind, but only if he's crossing the border to escape freezing temperatures caused by climate change. But what got Ted on my radar was his little video in Del Rio. It's oozing greasy inauthenticity. It features Ted, bloated and blathering, using human misery for political gain. Of course, we already know if he's talking, he's lying. He's using the Haitians at the border to put more pressure on the Biden administration than the buttons on his shirt. As if he doesn't know Biden is deporting them. But Ted's always trying to throw someone under the bus for something. I wonder if his daughters are still under there from that time they got blamed for Cancun. Ted loves to talk about Jesus and Christian values, but it's no secret Ted would be the shit stain in the Bible who tells a pregnant Mary and Joseph there's no room at the inn. Ted's morals must be away in a manger. Just like the hypocristians on Facebook acting like we have no room in the country to help these people. No room? Y'all forgot Pumpkin Tits spent 2020 killing hundreds of thousands of people by downplaying COVID? I'm pretty sure we have the room for about 10,000 people. Y'all don't know the difference between greater than and less than? Heavens to fucking Betsy. Now, not having the means to care for people and not having the desire are two very different things. But let's do a review for the hypocristians, shall we? In Leviticus, it says, "You shall treat the foreigners as if they were your own flesh and blood, and you shall love them as you love yourselves, for you were once foreigners in the land of Egypt." Leviticus 19:34. You guys, your favorite verse about gays is Leviticus 18:22. I see what you did. Y'all stopped reading right there, didn't you, you cherry-picking fucks? I caught you. Well, it sounds like God wants Christians to love thy neighbor. Could you imagine? It's crazy because it's so different from how y'all act. So, I think it's safe to say greeting people who need help by screaming at them, rounding them up on horseback like animals, and whipping them is not very pro-life. You see, pro-life means you have to be pro-every life. Don't all lives matter? They're reins, not whips. Okay, we'll just skip right over your hypocrisy for now. You're right. They are reins, not actual whips. But let me point out, a cucumber is just a vegetable until you shove it up your ass. Then it becomes something else. Much like a belt is an accessory until you're beating your entitled child in a dirty bathroom with it at the local Hobby Lobby. You catching my drift? The Haitians at the border are asylum seekers. Seeking asylum is a fucking human right, and it's legal. The U.S. shares a lot of the blame for all the afflictions of poor governance and the economy haunting Haiti. We owe these people asylum and refuge. Not to mention their president was recently assassinated and they're fleeing disasters caused by climate change. Again, just like Big Ted. Now, the Trumpublicans have defended him until they're as blue in the face as Ted's balls. I don't imagine Ted gets to part the pink sea after endorsing the man that called his wife ugly. But it makes sense Texas Republicans defend Ted Cruz. Abbott's assholes don't care about humans having to flee from violence, war, hunger, extreme poverty, persecution of their sexual orientation, or from the consequences of climate change or other natural disasters. All they care about is closed borders and support for border control. Doesn't matter if you're an asylum seeker, a migrant, or a refugee. They don't know the difference between the three. But that comes as no surprise. They don't even know the difference between there, and they are. Or greater than or less than. You're just an illegal. But I'm not sure anyone hates illegals more than the Greg Reaper. Greg, your break's over, bitch. La migra is a slang term used by people from Mexico when talking about the Border Patrol. La Migreg is my slang term for my racist asshole governor. Now, Migreg wasn't always a racist piece of shit who matures in reverse. I swear, the older he gets on the outside, the more childlike he becomes on the inside. Anyway, before Benjamin Button became governor in 2015, he was the attorney general here in Texas. And even though he apparently had the solution to eradicating rape, he chose to stand up for immigrants instead. One of the first press conferences Attorney General Gregg held in 2002 was talking about fraud against the undocumented. He and his office developed relationships all across Texas with labor activists, immigration attorneys, and Catholic charities. His office went after fake immigration lawyers whose scams were prevalent in undocumented communities across the country. In Texas, these fake immigration lawyers stole hundreds of thousands of dollars from low-income immigrants, promising them worker visas, green cards, and citizenship. In 2005, Gregg said, "I will not tolerate fraudulent immigration consultants who exploit the hopes and dreams of those simply wanting to call Texas home." But after the election of Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick and new Attorney General Ken Paxton, there was a shift in Texas politics. Everyone's moral compass had to shift further to the right to keep playing their political game. So newly elected Governor Gregg went very far right, and that was the birth of Migreg. Since then, Gregory withdrew Texas from the federal refugee program after he unsuccessfully sued to keep Syrian refugees out of Texas. He signed SB 4 into law, which allows law enforcement to inquire about a person's immigration status when they are held for any legal detention, including a routine traffic stop. Abbott and Ken Paxton have spent years launching legal attacks on the DACA program to have dreamers kicked out of the country. He's complained about a Supreme Court decision which doesn't allow public education to be denied to students based on their immigration status. He even defended the pumpkin tip policy of separating children from their parents at the border. My, look how far Gregg has strayed from human decency. Just like a lot of people in this country. Ironically, it's the ones who scream, "I'm pro-life and all lives matter" the loudest that don't want this country to help those at the border with nowhere to go. Cut the shit. You're pro-forced birth and you only think that white lives matter. Bitch, please. I want everybody to have a great fucking day unless you don't think Ted Cruz is the Zodiac Killer.